everyone, and welcome to the first ever pilot episode of Shipfaced. There's a pause. There's a pause. This is our new concept on the Cascafades channel, which we're going to do on every cruise that we go on, and sometimes special editions in between as well. So the concept for today's episode of Shipfaced, and you'll notice they're all around drinking. So not that we're alcoholics, just because it's a fun little concept, and who doesn't like to have a little drink on a cruise, right?
Indeed.
So today's concept, as you can see, or probably tell, we are still on board the Carnival Celebration on its final, I was going to say final descent then, but we're not on a plane.
No.
Final sail in to Miami, Florida at the end of our 14-day transatlantic maiden voyage here on Carnival Celebration. So we have visited many of the venues, had lots of food, too much food one might say.
Indeed.
And many drinks. Too much drinks, someone might say.
Sometimes.
And we still have one drink left to try later on, which we want to try at the Tiki bar. It's the one bar we haven't really drunk that much.
A little
we had
bit.
one drink.
But that was also
more
non-alcoholic, so it doesn't count.
Exactly, so we're going to try that. But let's talk about today's concept.
Well, also, who are we?
Well, I'm Cass from Cascafades, and this is my glamorous assistant, Hugh.
Hello.
Who you would have seen.
Spelled like how you do colour wheels.
Yes. You would have seen him in some of the previous videos.
I also do the editing.
Yes, you'll also see his flailing arms and legs occasionally in scenes, and reflections too. So we're both hard-working in our different ways, but he is very much part of the team, and we work together. You might see me on screen more, but
I do the hard work, and then he stands in front of the camera and talks.
Yeah, let's go with that. So what are we drinking today, Hugh?
I like how you asked me that, but you're the one with the bottle.
So we are drinking Taichenet Peach Melicaton Schnapps Liqueur. This is coming from Spain. We bought it while we were in Spain, and we decided it would be a great option for drinking today. So we have our glasses of schnapps. So how is it going to work today? What we're going to do? Why don't you tell the guys what we plan to do today?
Okay, so our plan is inspired by the Love and Marriage show. Is we have each given all of the venues that we have eaten and drunk at a rating from 1 to 10. 1 being absolute
Garbage.
Don't go there. It's rubbish. 10 being one of the best places on board. Easily, you could have every
meal, every drink there.
Every meal, every drink there, if you so desired. And
If it was the only restaurant or only bar on board, you would be absolutely satisfied going there.
Exactly.
Yes. So the way we're going to do it is we are going to guess what the other person has rated that venue.
Yes.
And if we are correct, then great. If we are more than one off, we have to take a shot.
Oh, we have to be exactly on when we discuss this.
No, we're going to be one off.
Okay, one off. We're
Yeah,
allowed one off.
because it's
okay.
out of 10. So
Yes.
if
And the more we get wrong, the
if
more
they've
likely
rated a
we're gonna get it
6
wrong.
and we've rated a 5 or a 7, we're fine. But if we're more than one off, it's a drink. I'm afraid this could get messy. On the last night, luckily our bags are packed. They're already outside the stateroom door, so we don't have to worry about being too tipsy to get our bags packed. It's all done. I say we. I've done it. He sat there and ate a cookie.
I did. We got
So should we start?
Yes, let's.
Okay, let's
Let me
go.
Get my ratings up. Okay, what is our first?
So what we're going to
thing,
start
I
with
guess?
is we're going to start with drinks. So we're going to start
drinks.
with bar 820. Now before we tell you our rating or guesses for bar 820, I'll explain. Bar 820 is part of the 820 Biscayne zone here on Carnival Celebration. It's all themed throughout Miami, and it's in the same area as Miami Slice, the pizza place, and the Deco Deli, where you can get your sandwiches. So bar 820 is a bar that's open from 7 a.m. every morning. Great place to get your morning mimosas, isn't it?
I do. Yes, it is.
It's a great place to get a morning mimosa. Or, as we've seen many people, they're espresso martinis, because hey, it's coffee, right? You can get that in the mornings. But it's also a place that has its own unique cocktail menu. $12 cocktails, so they're a little bit on the pricier edge, but they are unique to this bar, and they also serve the Cuban coffees that you can usually find in Havana Bar. So it's a great little location. So I'm going to start first. So bar 820.
What do you think I rated it?
I think that Hugh would have rated it a 7.
Okay, I think you will have rated it a 6.
You are bang on.
I'm bang on. Okay, so do I get a tick?
I voted a
Do
6.
I tick it?
You
I'll
get a
tick
tick.
it.
Yeah,
I'll
let's go
tick
for a
it,
tick.
I guess.
I did indeed vote that as a 6. The reason why is because I felt that the cocktail menu was limited and a little bit pricey for what it was. There are better cocktails on board for a lower price. So I think for the premium price, I didn't think it was worthy of more than a 6. But I know you liked the mimosas from there, so I thought you would rate it a little higher.
They also had a drink called the Flamingo. I rated mine a 6 as well.
Okay, so I was within 1. No drinks.
So you were no drinks.
Okay.
No sips this time.
Okay, cool.
Right, next.
Next set, you want to go next?
Oh, me.
Yeah.
The Red Frog Rum Bar.
Red Frog Tiki Lounge. It's
Rum
usually
bar.
the Red Frog Rum Bar on most ships,
Right.
but here it's a 2-floor Red Frog Tiki Bar.
The Red Frog.
Yes. What do you think I rated for the Red Frog?
We didn't have a lot there, so
This is water.
Yes, we're yellow for the water, and then our little clear glasses are going to be when we are drinking the alcohol. I'm going to say a 5. It's fine.
Okay. And I think you would have voted it a 6.
You would be 1 off. I rated a 7.
Ah.
I really like some of their really. I'm a big sweet tooth person, and they've got a lot of very sweet, very fruity.
And you were 1 off for me as well. I voted it a 6.
You rated it a 6.
No
okay.
drinking
No drinks
today.
again.
We're just going to be sober
It's gonna
tomorrow.
be-
This is unfortunate.
Yeah.
You wanted to see us get drunk, didn't you? Right, okay, my turn. So I'm going to put that one as an okay. We've got that one.
I'll put that one as a tick as well.
So I'm going to go with the next one. Next one is going to be Havana Bar.
Una.
So Havana Unana, yes. Havana Bar. What do you think I would have said for Havana Bar?
You like them all. I'm going to say 7.
Okay. He's good at this game, isn't it? Exactly 7.
Oh,
Well done, you've been bang on
wicked.
both times.
Okay.
What do you I think for you, I think also a 7.
I rated it a 5. Remember, a 5 does not mean it's bad. A 5 means it's perfectly average, but it's just not my thing. It's a lot of very alcohol-y tasting alcohols.
Okay, so let me explain what I gave it a 7 and he gave it a 5. So I give it a 7 because one thing I like about Havana Bar is they have a special of the day where it's $1 off and it's always a different one each day, and it gave me an opportunity to try something that I normally wouldn't because it was that little bit cheaper. And one of my favourite drinks I had there was the Cuban iced tea, which was delicious. It was really refreshing, although it was also strong. So you got that strong alcohol, but it was also refreshing, so you didn't feel like you were just drinking chemicals, and it was really, really tasty. And I just really like the ambience of the bar. When it's busy, there's a lot of things like ballroom dancing in there and everything like that, but when it's not so busy, it's just a really nice place to listen to some Latin music and just chill. It's a great place to sort of read your iPad or do something like that. So I really like the bar. So I wasn't just judging on the drinks, but on the bar. But bottoms up, I have a drink. First time.
Yes.
Okay.
They do also have rocking chairs.
That's sweet. That is very sweet.
They have rocking chairs, which almost did get it an extra point, but no, they're not.
Okay.
The rocking chairs weren't good enough.
Next
I'll
up.
take mine, but you don't get a tick.
No. Next up then, I'm going to go for a absolute perennial favourite on Carnival Cruise Lines, the Alchemy Bar.
I think you rated the Alchemy Bar a 9.
Okay. I think you voted the Alchemy Bar a 7.
Okay. You'd be wrong.
So would you. This is your first drink, mister.
Okay.
I voted the Alchemy Bar a 7.
Interesting.
What did you vote?
I rated the Alchemy Bar a 10.
Wow.
Because
very
I
different.
love the concept of the Alchemy Bar. I have never been disappointed with the mixologists. They have always given me exactly what I have asked for, which is when I've done the custom, and I love their menu, and I love the general ambience of this. The one on board here. This is right opposite where they have the changing windows, and I loved it as a place to sit and chill.
So what did you say I was going to rate it? A 9?
You were wrong.
We were both wrong.
We were both wrong on this one.
Okay, so I'll tell you why I voted it lower than a 10 and why I voted it a 7. The reason for this is because I love the Alchemy Bar, don't get me wrong, I love the concept. However, I felt that compared to some of the newer bars, which we'll talk about soon, I felt that the menu hadn't changed much since the first time I'd been to the Alchemy Bar years and years ago. It hasn't adapted, there's nothing really new. when we tried to do the create your own, they didn't have the sheets, they didn't have anything like that. It wasn't the same, and they were very rushed. Although they have a lot more seating, they didn't have as much bar staff or bar space. So you were waiting a long time. The menus didn't light up for half the cruise. There was a lot of, it just felt very much it was rushed. So the experience of the Alchemy Bar wasn't there. It just felt like another bar that happened to have Alchemy Bar cocktails.
I think I was rating it largely on how I've liked the Alchemy Bar previously.
We're back. Now, apologies for the pause there. I saw a cruise ship off the side, and it's the first sign of civilization we've seen for a week, so naturally I got excited. It looks like it's a princess ship, but we digress. I believe we both had a shot.
He says pause, but I'm probably just going to fast forward through that bit. So whichever one you saw,
you may not have seen it.
What we said.
But cheers.
Okay, cheers. I was looking at your... Oh, that's so sweet.
Okay, next up then.
Yep, next up.
What's the next bar we're going to go for?
Oh, I'm picking this one, am I? What did we just do?
We just did the Alchemy Bar.
It's the Alchemy. Oh yes, the Alchemy.
Alchemy.
Did we have we done? No, I didn't.
We didn't. Okay, so the ones we've got left is Latitude and Golden Jubilee.
Oh, I'll say the Golden Jubes, please.
The Golden Jubes. Okay, so the Golden Jubilee is a brand new concept bar on Carnival Celebration. It's in the Gateway area on board, which is almost a replacement for the Fortune Teller Bar on Mardi Gras, if you've been on there. And the Golden Jubilee is all about sort of very Art Deco style, very Great Gatsby. And the theming in there is it's using parts from different ships around the old parts of the fleet, such as the Festival, the Carnival, Tropical, anything else that ends in Carl, apart from Carlton. We can do some of this Carlton dancing.
Actually, technically not. I think he legally owns it, so there's like rules around it or something.
But it's a beautiful bar with its own very unique menu, which is just fabulous, and the team there were really great. So let's talk about a Golden Jubilee and
The
what we think of their
Golden
menu.
Jubilee. I think you rated the Golden Jubilee high. I'm going to say you rated it an 8.
Okay, I think you also rated it an 8.
You would not be drinking. I rated it a 9.
I rated it an 8. You're being bang on tonight. I think you've been ripping up my notes.
That's for you. I mean, I could be. You're making no effort to hide them.
That's true.
But no, I haven't been.
There you
I just... That's going to be so loud. I loved the aesthetic. I mean, Art Deco is a big thing. I'm a big fan of it. I loved the little details, like they had the doors from the original ship, and I loved their menu. I've been obsessed with their grasshoppers.
You love the grasshopper.
I'm becoming known for it. The bartenders will see me and they'll be like, grasshopper, and I'll be like,
If you've never had
please.
a grasshopper, by the way,
No.
it's creme de menthe, creme de cacao, and heavy cream with nutmeg. It's mint. It's like a mint chocolate chip ice cream in a cocktail, and it is delicious. I'll give you that.
It's an alcoholic milkshake.
It
Let's
is.
be real.
Yeah, it is. But there's also some really good drinks there, including a special which is based on the Christine Duffy's favourite drink. So it's actually called Christine's Fave.
Yeah.
There's also the Fun Ship Special, which you all know and love. It's the one that they come around with on the trays every first day of every cruise. That lovely, really strong fruity cocktail with a nice little cherry. You can get that anywhere in the Golden Jubilee. So it's everything that celebrates what Carnival has been, and what it's going to be. So it's great.
Yes, it is again once a little bit more on the pricey side, but I found it worth it because if you look behind the bar, all of the alcohol they stock in that bar is the higher quality.
Yeah, you're
stuff.
looking at your Grey Goose vodkas, for example, rather than your Smirnoff or anything like that. So it's good value. Most drinks are either $10.50 or $11.50, which is a little bit cheaper than Bar 820, which was everything was $12. So it's a little bit cheaper. I don't think there was any specials really there, but
no, it's classics.
It was classics, yeah.
Is what you get at the
Golden Jubilee.
The Golden Jubilee. I forgot the name of it there.
forgot. He's already had too much of his schnapps.
I have one sip.
So let's go with the final bar. Now, obviously there are more bars on board. We're not including the generic bars that use the generic Carnival menu. So bars in the lobby, the Serenity Bar, things like that. We're just going for specialty bars that you're really going to find that specific menus.
Yeah, rather than just bar for that area.
So let's go for the last one that I can think of here. We've got the Latitudes Bar. Now, I love the Latitudes Bar for different reasons. And let me give you a little bit of insight into what the Latitudes Bar is like. So the Latitudes Bar is themed around the journey. It's about destinations and itineraries. So it's themed sort of like a train station, like Grand Central. And the bar itself has clacker boards which change constantly throughout the day with different messages, tell you what's going on in the ship, things like that, but much like an old train station. It's really cool. The chairs in the bar are all embroidered with the stamps for your passport for different locations, including Turku, where the ship sailed from, with the date it actually left, which is really cool. That's where it was built, and lots of other destinations that Carnival travels to. So it's really cool to see that. And it's got a unique cocktail menu with cocktails from each different continent throughout the world, and different sort of major countries with different flavors and different countries' takes on certain classics. So it was lots of options. It was the biggest cocktail menu, I think. Maybe tied with Golden Jubilee.
Yeah.
But there was something for everyone, from tall drinks to short drinks, strong drinks, spicy drinks, everything. So I think that you rated this an 8.
I think I'm going to say you also rated it an 8.
And what did you actually rate it?
6.
Oh, so I have to drink, but I
You
rated
do.
it a 9, so you do not have to drink.
I do not.
It is definitely my favourite bar on board the ship.
I
Cheers.
like it,
Thumbs
but I
up.
like the location more than I like the menu. Again,
The menu is perfect for me.
yeah, it's very you menu.
I recommend the mole. It's the Mexican drink. It's spicy jalapeno with like a salted rim, and it is delicious. If you like something a bit different, something a bit tangy that's going to burn your throat a little bit, it's a perfect choice to go for.
Yes, I'm not a big fan of having my throat burn, which is why I'm not rating it very highly. But I love the area, I love the thing, I love the clackerboard. Is it the clackerboard?
Yeah, it's clackerboard.
Clackerboard. It is clackerboard?
I think it's a clackerboard.
Clackerboard.
If it's not
We're
a
going
clackerboard,
with clackerboard.
please correct us in the comments. On the note of comments, that's all of the bars we're going to cover today. If you have been on Celebration, or you're planning to go, or anything like that, or if you've been to these bars on other ships, obviously excusing the Latitudes and Golden Jubilee, then please let us know what your favourites are. What's your favourite cocktail on the menu? Because it'd be quite interesting, because we are connoisseurs, we like to try them all.
We do.
And we have tried to try as many as we can. We had 14 days, and we had almost $1,000 of onboard credit, and we put that to good use.
Yes, by mostly alcohol.
Mostly
alright,
alcohol.
drink something again.
So let's talk about. I had my
did you
drink.
drink?
I'll have another one though. Yeah,
There you go, tiny one.
tiny sip.
Are we going to
Okay.
move to food?
Let's move to food.
Move to food.
Food. Let's talk about the restaurants on board Carnival Celebration, and there are so many of them.
There's quite a few. There's 1 or 2, isn't there?
Yeah, we've eaten at every single one except for 2. The only 2 being Rudy's Sea Grill, which is not because we don't recommend it, just because as a party of 3, only one of us really enjoys seafood of that level, really, enough to want to go to a seafood restaurant. And although they do offer seafood alternatives, if
Why
only,
would you go to a seafood restaurant?
exactly, if only one person of a group doesn't like seafood, then fine.
Yeah.
And if it's like a celebration, that's fine. But if only one person wants seafood, there's so much seafood around the rest of the ship that it's not a big issue.
Yeah, exactly.
The second one we don't go to is Bonsai Teppanyaki, and the reason for that is because we have been to teppanyaki restaurants on other lines and on land quite a lot. And I think that the big part of Bonsai Teppanyaki is the show.
Yeah.
And once you've seen it a couple of times, it's not worth the money so much anymore. But that's not to say the food isn't great. The food is apparently very great. It's just not something we were willing to pay for when we had so many other options on board.
Yeah. And it's not one that's not on our other line. Well, we'll probably rate it at some point in the future.
Yeah, probably.
And we'll leave it as another pinned comment.
So let's go to the basics. Let's start basic, shall we?
Oh, I can
As
do
you mean to
basic.
start every day? Basic.
Wow, rude.
Okay, let's go for the main dining room. What did you rate the main dining room? What do you think I rated the
Yeah,
main dining room? That's the
you've
game.
forgotten how to play this
I've
game.
forgotten how to play the game.
I think you rated this main dining room a 5.
And I think you rated it a 5.
You would be 1 off. I rated it 4.
Okay, I rated it a 5 as well. That isn't because it was bad. I think if we'd only had the main dining room food on any other line, or any other ship, it would be fine. But because of the vast amounts of other free included food on board, the quality just felt lackluster, and it led to the point of us going, you know what, we'll just eat elsewhere because we may as well. and have something different.
It be like this is not for Carnival. This is for this ship.
Yes.
And it just sort of highlights the quality of the other venues.
Just to reiterate what we're saying, at least for the inaugural season on Celebration, just like it has been in Mardi Gras, both Shebang and Cucina del Capitano are free and included as main dining rooms on board, and so they are alternative dining, not specialty dining. So when we compare the quality that we had in those restaurants to the main dining room, it was very different, and so that's what we're talking about here, right?
Yes.
Okay. What are you going to go with next?
Well, so we both got that one right, so no one drinks.
Yeah, no one drinks.
I haven't ticked it yet. Let me tick it. Let's go from basic to the very unbasic.
Okay.
Fahrenheit 555.
Fahrenheit 555. That's the steakhouse on board. On certain of the older ships, it's just called the steakhouse, but on the newer ships, it is Fahrenheit 555. It is a beautiful steakhouse restaurant. It's currently $42 per person, but I believe that's going up to $46 in the next couple of weeks. But it is you get your starter, your main course, desserts, soups, salads, all the fizz bang wallops.
Yeah, you pay up front for the set menu, effectively. Well, not set menu. That's a set menu is a different thing. You pay an upfront cost for the full meal. It is not per item or per course.
Okay, so for the steakhouse, then I think you would have voted this a 7.
I think you would have rated it a 10.
Okay, and what did you actually vote it?
I rated it 4.
No, we both have to drink.
We do. I didn't dislike my time there. I wasn't that impressed with the cost, and I've had a better steakhouse on other ships.
We won't mention which ones. Oh, okay. We will mention it was Carnival. It was the Pride.
It was the Pride. I had a better time at the steakhouse on the Pride. It's again, nothing was done wrong. It was just I wasn't thrilled.
Yep, I get you. For me, I don't really go out to eat steak very often on land, and so for me, going to a steakhouse is a big deal, and it's something fancy, and I really like the fact that we went on an elegant night, so that might have added to my evening and my enjoyment of it. We were all dressed up, we had a bottle of wine, we had a 3-course meal. It was lovely for me, so I rated it an 8, not a 10. So you have to drink too.
Oh, I was okay.
Cheers.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It is. Okay, my turn.
It is.
Okay.
I got that one wrong. I got that one wrong.
You did, yes. So I'm going to go next with one of the specialty restaurants on board that we did have to pay extra for.
Yes.
And this is one that is a new version of a classic from Mardi Gras. So Mardi Gras has Emerald's Bistro. Here on board Celebration, we have Emerald's at $13.97, which is a sort of a quick servicey specialty restaurant. So it's small plates and some bigger meals, but it's a case of ordering at the counter, sit down, and you pay per item. So it's a la carte. And I thought this was an interesting place. It was lots of New Orleans sort of Cajun style food. They did breakfast as well as a main menu. Breakfast, you can get things like breakfast po' boys, shrimp and grits, things like that. Lunchtime, it's more sort of gumbo, jambalaya, things like that as well. So I think you would have voted this an 8.
And I think you also voted this an 8.
I actually voted this a 9.
I still didn't drink. I still get it right.
What did you get?
You were smack dab on. I got it an 8.
Yeah. So this was a huge success for us. We first had it as breakfast, and we were okay. I think after we'd had it for lunch, we upped our scores.
Yeah,
breakfast was good, but lunch or dinner was just for the price we paid. We paid about the same as we paid for like a bonsai sushi or something like a mid-grade specialty. But we had so much, and we got things and we put it in the middle, and we all tried a bit of everything, and there was nothing.
That's generally how we do most
we
food
try and
venues.
try a little bit of everything. And the food was it was quick. From the time we ordered to the time it arrived at the table was less than 10 minutes, which is insanely good. It was all hot as well. Some of it too hot to eat straight away.
Yes, which is a good thing.
Which is nice, yeah, because one of the big things and why we actually voted the main dining room so low is a lot of the time the food was lukewarm when it got to the table.
And also the service on the main dining room sometimes was a little slow, which I forgot to mention before, but I'm mentioning now.
But Emerald's very, very fast, very fresh. Everything's made to order, and it was just nice to have something a bit different and something with different flavour palettes to what we're used to on a cruise ship.
It was all really flavoursome, really, really delicious. They had beignets, which were phenomenal.
Yes, if you've ever been to New Orleans or been to anywhere that serves Cajun food, you know how good beignets are. And these were freshly made.
Yeah.
And it's the first ones you've had, isn't it?
They were, actually, yes. I was very impressed. But I definitely say this one is much better as a lunch eat. I wouldn't super recommend the breakfast unless you're just wanting you've tried the other venues, you're wanting to try.
If you want something quick,
different. Yeah,
and hot and fresh cooked for you, then it's a great option because a common thing is with breakfast, it's just stuff under the heat.
We just had some technical difficulties. We're back. Hello.
Hi. What's your choice next? Which restaurant are you gonna go for?
I'm deciding. Okay. Guys Burgers.
Guys Burgers. Okay, so I know how much you were hyped about Guys Burgers before we got on board. Now, everybody who's travelled on any of the Carnival vessels knows just how much Guys Burgers have become almost a cult following, I think. But I think you would have voted this an 8.
Okay. I think you. I'm gonna say 5 because there's not a lot you can eat there to try and like be healthy and such.
Well, you'll have to drink.
Okay.
Or I voted this a 7.
Oh.
What did you go for?
You will also have to drink because it was a 10.
Okay. I do know how much you love Guys Burgers.
I love Guys Burgers.
Here we go.
This is the same Guys Burgers as every venue, but Guys Burgers is such a staple of Carnival, and it's so consistently high quality. It's always fast. It is dirty food, but I mean that as a compliment. It is, it just all focused on the flavour and just being delicious and eatable. And it's going to be a 10 on basically every venue unless a particular ship we go on really buggers it up.
Pretty much, yeah. So I think what lends to him giving this a 10 as well is that he was lucky enough to be one of the people to get the first ever batch of Guys Burgers on the Carnival Celebration. It was the first place we went to when we got on board, and literally they had just opened, and you got the first batch on a brand new cooker.
Annoyingly, that actually meant it didn't have that much flavour, because if you know anything about cooking, the cookers add flavour into it from being cooked on and used so much that they kind of absorb a lot of those meaty juices. So a brand new cooker actually made it really have less flavour. But
you got it fresh without any taint.
It meant I was one of the first people on board to have a Guys Burger, except for probably like the staff.
And you loved it.
Oh, it was great. I'm going to make myself like a badge to say it, or something.
One reason I vote Guys Burgers high is because they're always happy to tailor things to you. So for me, I eat a low carb diet, and so they were quite happy to make me a Guys Burger with no bun and no fries, so I just had the meat, the cheese and the salad, which was great. So I was able to have that meaty flavour that you described as being so good without having anything that I didn't need or didn't want. I've had situations on previous lines where they've sort of just given me the thing and said, we can just throw the bread away or you can just leave it, and it's like, well, I just didn't want to waste food. So it was really good that they were happy to do that for me, so I was able to have that. My one disappointment was before we travelled on the ship, they'd been heavily advertising Guys' new burger, the Thunderstruck burger, to celebrate the 50th anniversary, but it was not on the menu, so we couldn't try it. So even though they've been advertising it heavily as a fleet-wide thing, it was not available.
No, it was not.
Which is sad, because it had the deep-fried jalapenos and stuff, and I thought that sounded really yummy. I love spicy food.
He does.
But that's Guy's Burgers. So let's switch gears with Guy's, because Guy has 2 restaurants on board this ship. Guy also has the Pig and Anchor. Now, Pig and Anchor is a smokehouse. It's a barbecue restaurant. In the mornings, it just serves everything like you'd get on the buffet. So, your sausages and eggs and things like that. Lunch, it serves a quick service barbecue. So you'll get your your pork, you get your mac and cheese, you get your collard greens and things like that, and it's self-service sort of buffet style. But it's in the evening, it becomes more of a specialty dining restaurant, where you get high quality sort of pork butt, you get pork belly, there's a special of the day, you choose different meats, you get different sides and desserts as well, and it becomes much more of a sit-down restaurant, table servicey thing. So we're going to vote on this as a whole, as a venue for all three.
I did have a question, because are we incorporating the bar portion of Pig and Anchor?
We're just going to go on the food section.
We're just focusing on food.
But it is worth noting that they do have a bar called Flavour Town.
And it is a specialty cocktails available at that bar.
Yeah, they do a lot of the Parched Pig beers. So that's Carnival's own brand of beers. They brew them on board, so they have a brewery which you can actually get a tour around a couple of times every sea day. It does cost a little bit, but you get a special souvenir gift apparently. I don't know what that is, but I'm guessing it's related to beer. Now, one of the things, I'm not a big beer drinker, but one thing I've had 2 or 3 times on this cruise was the hog sampler, which is where they give you a little paddle of small samples of all of their beers, so you can have a little drink of each of them, and it costs the same for a sampler as it does for 1 pint of any of the other beers, so it's a really good deal. It's a good chance to try all of them and see if you've got a favourite, so I really enjoyed that. But let's focus on the food.
Yes. If we were rating it as a bar, I'd give it a 2, because it's so not my thing.
That's only because we had a Manhattan that had actual slices of bacon in it, and that was a very American thing, and he thought it was silly.
You loved it though.
Yeah, it was tasty, it was nice. But let's focus on the food. I think you voted this an 8.
I think you voted this a 5.
Okay. What did you actually vote this?
I actually voted 7, so you do not drink.
So you have to drink.
I do.
I voted this a 7.
Really? I'm surprised.
Because I liked how I could tailor it for my diet. So a lot of it was very meat heavy, so I had lots of protein, but also it was just something different. It was nice that every time you walk past it, the smells, oh my god, were so good. And it gave me a chance to try meat in a different way. Barbecue isn't a big thing in the UK, so anybody who's watching from the UK would know that when we say barbecue, we just mean burnt sausages in the garden with burnt skin and a terrible fly problem. But in the US, barbecue is a big thing. These smoked meats, andouille sausage, pork butt, collard greens was all completely new to me, and it was really great flavours that I didn't anticipate loving as much as I did. And my one regret would probably be not going back for it again another time, because we only did the lunch once and the dinner once.
Yes.
I would have probably gone back for the lunch again today if I wasn't so hungry, so full, sorry. But yeah, you have to drink.
I do.
Your turn.
Oh, lovely.
We're getting there.
So I got that one all wrong.
You did.
Cucina.
Ooh, Cucina del Capitano.
Cucina.
So as we've mentioned before, Cucina del Capitano, free of charge restaurant on board Celebration, at least for the inaugural season. This may change.
At time of recording.
At time of recording, I use that a lot. But also, one thing that people aren't aware of is it's got a separate menu for lunch and dinner. So on lunch, instead of the a la carte sort of, so not a la carte, a la carte sort of starters, main course, desserts, it is a more simple, quick servicey option. So you do have a few starters like a salad, soup, things like that, but it's basically more of a pasta bowl restaurant. So you get a little tick sheet, you choose what protein, what veggies, and what sauce you want, what type of pasta you want, and they bring you your custom pasta bowl to the table. If you prefer pizza or salads and stuff, they'll do that too, but it's very much a quick service Italian restaurant for lunch, whereas at dinner it is more of a traditional Italian sort of restaurant where you have all of the classics like chicken parm, you'll have your pasta dishes like fettuccine alfredo, things like that, and of course the well-regarded Nonna's meatballs for starters, which are absolutely huge and delicious. So that is Cucina, as you'll have seen it in other restaurants. Now, previous ships I've been on in Carnival's fleet, Cucina has been very different. Their menu was used to be served family style, where everything was served out on the table. It's not so much like that on Celebration. I don't know if that's changed for the rest of the fleet, but it's now much more single person focused, like a normal Italian land restaurant. So very different to what I've experienced before. But let's see. What do you think I voted for Cucina?
I think you rated it a 4.
I think you voted it a 6.
You would not be drinking. I rated it a 5.
You will be drinking because I rated it a 7.
terribly now.
The reason I voted this a 7 is because even though it was a pasta restaurant and an Italian, which is usually incredibly carb heavy, I did not feel like I missed out by not having those things. So I went in and I would have the salads, I'd have the amazing soups, and I'd still be able to enjoy a nice Italian meal without feeling like I had to have something bready or carby heavy, and the flavours were just as good. However, I've only rated it a 7 because I think there were better places on board.
That was my similar. As a reminder, a 5. Some people think of a 5 as being bad. A 5 is still
functionally adequate.
It is fine. I'd be happy to eat there. It just doesn't light my world on fire.
Just let's remember, a 5 on a cruise ship is a 10 compared to being at home.
Ha! Exactly.
Because we don't need to do the dishes.
Right.
So that's cool. That's good. Let's go for the next one then. On a similar vein, we're talking about restaurants that are included on this ship that would usually be specialty. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about Chibang.
Chibang.
Now, Chibang is unique to the Excel class ships. So that's Mardi Gras, Celebration, and fingers crossed, hopefully Jubilee when it launches next year. And Chibang is it's a fusion restaurant. It does Chinese and Mexican, and similar to Cucina. At lunch, it's a different menu to dinner. So at dinner, you have a typical sort of 3-course meal of either Chinese, Mexican, or you can mix and match if you're a heathen, or just like a bit of both. That's fine. At lunchtime, the Chinese side offers noodle bowls, which are either stir-fried noodles or broth noodles like a ramen, and the Mexican side offers burrito bowls with sort of meat and all your veggies.
The stuff you
like
can find in a burrito,
yeah,
sans the tortilla.
Yeah, so, and you just tick on the sheet what you like, hand it over, and they bring you your custom bowl. Whereas in the evening, as I say, it's a normal menu. So I think you voted this after tonight, because we had our final meal at
yeah, I literally
and
just
we did change our
rating
rating today. I think you'd have voted this an 8.
I think you also voted an 8.
Okay, and what did you actually vote it?
An 8.
I voted it a 9. So none of us drink.
None of us drink.
But I voted it a 9 because I actually was really impressed by Chibang. When I heard of the concept, I thought that just sounds really gimmicky. Like Chinese, Mexican don't go together. But it makes sense when you're there because you realise it's just a lot of shared ingredients. It makes the kitchen share ingredients. It makes a lot of sense. It's been a bit slow at times, but I think that's come down to just how popular it's been.
And also it's new.
Yeah, it's been very, very popular. But the quality of the food has been insane, and it made us really lower our rating for the main dining room, because if you can have Chibang every night, why would you go to the main dining room, right?
Yeah, which is what we ended up doing.
Yeah. So that's why we went tonight, is because we just like, we want to go back and try the others, because we did. Yeah. We all chose Chinese the first time we went, and so tonight we chose Mexican instead.
Yes.
And you had the steak, and I had a bit of your steak.
Did.
And it was good. It was better than the steak from the main dining room. It's not a steakhouse steak.
It wasn't a steakhouse steak,
but it was better than the main dining room steak.
It was the thing that made me lower my steakhouse.
Yeah. It was better
rating.
than the steak that's offered on Elegant Night in the main dining room.
It was better than that, and it was not comparable to steakhouse, but it was good enough to give the steakhouse a run for its money, which is what lowered that rating, because everything's in comparison to its other things on board.
Let's talk about the next restaurant. What have you got? What have you got for me?
What have I got for you?
What have you got for me?
Let's street eats.
Ooh, street eats. Now, if you haven't been on Mardi Gras, street eats might sound like a weird concept you might not have heard of. So, street eats is a street food section that is on the Lido deck. It consists of 3 different stands. One is Mad Sizzle, which offers things like kebabs and stuff that's cooked on a grill, basically. Kebabs, pad thai, things like that. Then there is Steam Dream, which offers things like bao buns and sort of dumplings, Chinese dumplings, things like that. And there is it's fries time or something. I can't remember.
It is fry time.
Fry time, which is the loaded fries station, which changes its thing each day. So each day they'll offer a different selection of dishes. You can go there. They're sort of small plates. You just grab and go, and they are free. You help yourself, and it gives you a chance to try food that you may not always have before, especially when it comes to Steam Dream and Mad Sizzle. There'll be foods that you may not be experiencing before. We're very aware that with America having so many different cultural foods because of all different states having their own cultures, a lot of Americans don't eat much outside of the American culture because there's so much to eat there. Like Texan, there's steakhouses and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of things that there would be quite new to people, and we had some great meals from there.
Yes.
Often we would just get one dish and just share it and try it.
Because we would just want to try
new.
them all because they were. I loved the fact that it rotated every day.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a big deal. What do you think I rated it?
It did repeat quite a lot on the transatlantic though, but on a normal cruise it probably wouldn't so much.
Yeah, but even it was never. You'd never see 2 days in a row.
No.
It'd always be different. It was different every day, but we did see some repeats, but only near the end.
So I think for street eats you voted it a 6.
I think for street eats you voted it an 8.
I voted it a 7.
I do not drink. You will. I voted the street eats a 9.
Wow. Okay. Here we are.
A big thing for me is the street eats. The closest point of comparison was P&O has this thing called the Keys.
Yes.
And this was better than that.
It was better than
the
Keys.
And I loved the Keys when I was on that ship, and now...
If you ever go on the P&O XL class ships, if you go to the Keys, the katsu curry is immense though.
Yes.
Try the katsu curry.
And this was a very similar concept to the Keys, but done.
It was done better. Yeah.
Largely because it was rotating. Not that it produced better food, but it had such a breadth and variety of food that you would always have something new to try. The portion sizes were perfect because they're about plates about
they can't really get that for context. It's a small tray. It's literally, if you've ever had bao buns, for example, you'd fit 2 bao buns in a tray with the sauce on top. Yeah. It's literally enough for sort of 2 nibbles.
It's a nibble.
To try something.
Nibbles.
If you went on one of the older ships, I don't know if they still do it now, but some of the older ships, like the Dream class, they did the taste bar, where you'd go and you'd get like a tasting size thing of something that would be served in the specialty restaurants. It's just like that sort of size. So he wouldn't have remembered that because he's not been on one of those class of ships. But that's something they used to do. So for your benefit, they would, for example, do a small portion of something that was an appetizer in the steakhouse, so you could try it for free to try and encourage people to go to the steakhouse. So it's that sort of size. But let's focus on some of the others because we are talking way too much. Let's talk about one of my most talked about places I talk about a lot with my friends, Bonsai Sushi.
Bonsai!
Now, Bonsai Sushi is on a lot of the ships now, and it varies. When they first introduced Bonsai Sushi back in some 2009, I believe it was very, very quiet. So when I was on the Dream in 2010, you could go there all the time because sushi was quite new to a lot of cruisers. As I say, the American market, sushi was a little bit too out there. Now I think it's much more prevalent in the US, and so people are embracing it a bit more. So Bonsai Sushi here has never been dead. It's always been quite busy. I would say it's still not packed compared to some of the other restaurants, and it's $35 per person. No, sorry, that's for the teppanyaki. For Bonsai Sushi, it is per item. It's a la carte, so you can pay as much or as little as you want. And yeah, it's a really good option for you, and it's in a really good location, so the food is really good there. So I think you would have voted this an 8.
I think you would have also voted this an 8.
I voted this a 9.
So you don't.
I don't
You
drink.
don't drink.
What did you get?
No, wait.
What did you vote it?
No, wait. No, no. Sorry.
I voted
I
it.
don't drink.
No, you don't drink.
You will.
Wait, what did you?
A 10.
Oh, you thought I was going to vote it a 10? Okay.
No, I voted it a 10. You got it wrong.
Right, okay. Here we go.
We keep forgetting how our own rules work that we set.
That's because we've drunk that much already.
Yes.
But okay, why did you vote it like that?
I love sushi, generally. I will have sushi quite a lot back home, and it is some excellent quality sushi. The service has always been very fast, and and when we came
Tell them about
second
the
time,
ship.
we got a whimsical ship, and it brought me immense joy.
So yeah, they serve it it's for 2 people for $28. They serve it on an actual wooden ship, and it's enough sort of sharing sushi. You both get a miso soup, you get a side salad and all the trimmings, and it is a really, really fun way of enjoying your sushi, and it's such good quality sushi as well.
Yes.
If you've ever had sushi from a supermarket and you think, well, this is okay, it's nothing like that. This is freshly made for you, and it's just so good. And the desserts in Bonsai Sushi are special as well. We introduced you to deep fried ice cream.
And it was the best dessert I had on the ship.
Yes. Cool.
Without a doubt. If I can remember, I will add some footage or pictures.
You'll see it in the
ship.
vlogs.
Otherwise, just imagine it.
Okay, it's your turn.
Oh, what lovely.
So we should have blue iguana, deco deli, Miami slice, big chicken, Lido buffet, and
I'm going to stop you
Java
right there
blue.
because we're going to be doing Miami Slice.
Okay, so Miami Slice is the pizza bar on board. This is a quick service pizza. On other ships, it's called either Pizza Pirate or Pizzeria del Capitano, but here it is Miami Slice because it's in the 820 Biscayne region on board the ship, and it is a different menu to the other pizzerias. It is a Miami style pizza bar, so the menu is slightly different, but it is open most of the day from I think 10 a.m. till 3 or 4 in the morning. And it is, you queue up, have as much or as little as you want, but it is just pizza all day, all the time.
Yes.
So really good, and let's vote it. I think you would have voted this a 7.
I think you would have voted this a 6.
Okay, and what did you actually vote it?
A 7.
So I got it bang on, and you have to drink.
Okay.
Because I actually voted this an 8, because even though I don't eat a lot of carbs, when I did have some of the pizza here, it was definitely better than some pizza I've paid for on other cruise lines. Just the flavour of it. I am a big poo-pooer when it comes to pepperoni pizza, because I find that pepperoni just tastes like oil, and a lot of the time it just adds fat to the pizza that doesn't need to. This pepperoni had flavour, it was seasoned, it was peppery. I just wanted to eat more and more of it, and it was delicious. I had to hold myself back from getting a slice every time we walked past, and sometimes the fact that it had such a long line was a godsend for me, because if it didn't, I would have probably eaten way more.
Yes. Also, its logo is a flamingo with a slice of pizza, so
That's always going to win for you.
I was tempted to rate it.
Flamingos.
I was tempted to rate it a 10 because of that, but I didn't think that was fair.
Okay. So, on this same element there, right next door to Miami Slice is Deco Deli. Now, every ship on board every ship on the Carnival fleet, there is a deli. They usually have a very specific deli menu that's shared across the fleet. But here, the Deco Deli is a Miami-themed deli. So they have the classics on one side, which are the sort of, your caprese, your turkey, things like that. You get on all of the ships. But then they have more specific Miami-themed ones, which have things like different types of ham, salami, herby chicken, things like that. And they get us little samples out on view so you can see what you're ordering. And it was very, very popular. This was the thing that had the longest lines. Every time we walked past it, there was always at least 5 people in line. And I say 5 people as if that doesn't sound like a lot. But when it's consistent and you walk past it, you think, oh, if there's time, no, I'm not going to queue for that. It was always busy. And sometimes it was 10, 15, 20. It was always busy. The only time we got to try it was when it was so early in the day, or it was when it was really, really busy elsewhere because it was a nice hot day and everyone was out on the Lido deck. That was the time to grab a sandwich and try it. But it was really, really interesting to try, and I think you would have voted this a 6 because I don't think you really tried much of it.
Yeah, you would be not wrong, but also not right. I don't have a rating for it.
Because you didn't really try it much.
No, I didn't have any. I wasn't there when you
I
tried
voted it. What do you think?
I think you voted it, based on your previous love of delis, a 7.
I did vote a 7. Yeah, correct. So I only tried a little. I tried the new herby chicken one, which was really, really delicious. Because they cook it fresh, it's put in the oven, it's baked, it's all gooey with cheese. Oh, now I don't eat the bread, really, so I just had like a bit of the filling. I shared it, so yeah, it was lovely. But let's focus on things that I know that you did like.
Yeah, that I didn't eat at least.
You did like. So I'm going to go with Shaq's Big Chicken. Now, Shaq's Big Chicken is unique, again, to Mardi Gras and the celebration. In the mornings, they serve a breakfast menu, which is sort of chicken and biscuits. They also have 3-egg omelette. But it's when lunch and dinner come around, or lunch really, because it closes at about 5, I think, where they do the chicken sandwiches and chicken strips with lots of different sauces and things like that. It really comes alive. And it is very flexible for people like me who have dietary requirements. So I was able to order without the bun, and I was also able to order grilled chicken instead of the breaded chicken, although I did try both. and so I can give it a decent rating. And I think you would have voted this a 9. He's gone quiet now.
I forgot to give it a rating, so I've just given it one.
Okay, I think you would have given it a 9.
I give it an 8.
Okay, so I'm close. What do you think I give it?
I think you would have given it an 8.
I did indeed give it an 8. We're on fire.
Yeah, Shack's really, really tasty. They've got a really good selection of sauces, so it's very similar to Guy's. They have like a selection of sauces you can only get there. They have Shack sauce, which was just very, very good. It has the best fries on board. If you just want
the hand-cut fries.
Really delicious. Their chicken burgers were really good. I would recommend. It's not worth going down. Go for the Big Aristotle.
I like the Big Shack.
You like the Big Shack? You like spicy though?
I do like it
Go
spicy.
for the one with stuff on it because the chicken is great on its own. But if you're getting a burger, get one with everything. Their chicken strips were awesome. It's such an easy venue to eat at. I did also do the ultimate experience.
We call it the Shy Guy experience.
Shy Guys experience.
And I'll explain it, because if he explains it, he'll just start drooling on the table. But he was deciding, I can't tell between whether I like Shack's burgers better or Guy's burgers. And apparently, the ultimate solution for a fat git like him is to have both and combine them into one. So he would put the Guy's burgers and the Shack burger together in one set of buns and eat them, not knife and fork. Oh no! Like a snake just dislocating his jaw. He was able to eat both.
Yes.
And I've never seen someone look so happy and yet so ill at the same time.
I did get heartburn immediately after
But
finishing.
you had no regrets.
No.
Would you recommend our viewers do the same?
I genuinely try them both on their own, and if you like it actually works. Like a chicken and beef burger combo is a thing, and this is a really delicious one. So yeah, both Shacks really good. I went there for lunch a few times, and I was never disappointed.
So I think we have only 3 venues left, if I'm correct.
Yeah, probably.
We have the Java Blue Cafe, the Lido, so the Lido Marketplace, that's the buffet, and the Blue Iguana Cantina. Which one would you like to go for?
Yes, I did rate all of these.
Okay, good. I'm glad someone's been doing their homework.
Woo!
Which would you like to go for?
We
still have some alcohol left.
Let's go with Java Blue.
Java Blue. Okay, so Java Blue, as many of you will know, is the coffee bar on board. Now, one thing I loved about Celebration is, apart from just the coffees, in the mornings you could have breakfast pastries there free of charge. Also, they had breakfast sandwiches. They had what did they have? Like bacon sandwiches. They had toasties, things like that, all available in the mornings. Not for the mornings, they didn't. Just sort of breakfast. Oh, English muffin, like sausage and egg muffins, cheese muffins. Also, they had a grab and go section as well.
Yes.
In the morning, had bowls of fresh fruit or granola, milk, chocolate milk, yogurts. So if you don't want to go all the way to the buffet, or you just want something light, it's a perfect place. And because it opens earlier than a lot of the places, it's a great place for early risers like me.
Yes.
Because I'm often up at 5:30 in the morning.
Did we say milkshakes? Milkshakes. You can get
Yes,
milkshakes.
they do milkshakes there, and coffee, baristas, coffees. They do spiked coffees, milkshakes, spiked milkshakes, floats. They do everything. And at lunchtime, when the patisserie counter opens, they have paid for patisserie items such as cupcakes, strawberries covered in chocolate, that sort of thing. But they also, unique to this one, I think, because I've never seen it before, is they do lunchtime things like calzones. They do wraps. The buffalo cauliflower wrap was insanely good. They do empanadas and sort of just toasties and things like that, all free of charge. So really, really great place to be. Yeah, really, really nice. So let's vote that. I think you would have voted this a 7.
I think you will have voted this a 6.
You are correct.
Bang on.
Bang on.
You will not drink. I voted a 6.
Reason I voted it as 6 rather than higher is just because and this isn't anything wrong with the location, it's just for me, is that everything was carbs.
Yeah.
So if they had something that for breakfast or lunch sort of in the cabinet that was a little bit less bread, and I know that that's just a me thing, so I'm not holding against the thing, so if they had something a little bit less, I don't know, it would have been a little bit nicer, have something a bit different. And this is something that I've mentioned on previous lines. I'm not going to mention which other cruise line does this better, but it might be something that's not this. But yeah, there are other lines that do it a little bit better that they could learn from. But yeah, we were bang on pretty much there.
Yeah, it's could have easily been a 5 location, just because and I've still gone there loads because it's in such a convenient location. But it was better than it needed to be for where it is.
Also, I think that the fact that it was such a small actual counter, there were often lines from there all the way across centre stage towards the elevators because people want their coffee.
Yeah.
And it was the only place on board in the mornings to get barista style coffee. So if you don't want filter, later on in the day you can get coffee from Havana Bar, for example. But that doesn't open until lunchtime. So this was the only place in the mornings. And I think the experience we had as well is that we're on a transatlantic, a journeys cruise, which attracts the older audience, and the older people tend to get up earlier. They're more early risers than the younger folk, and so there was a lot more demand in the mornings for coffee because that's how people are used to starting their day. I think that will lessen. Yeah, I think it will lessen when it goes to the Caribbean and starts doing its normal itineraries.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, let's go for the main. Not main dining room, the Lido. So the buffet.
Oh, I did rate Big Chicken. I've rated Big Chicken twice on this.
Okay, well, hopefully it's the same rating. But let's go for the Lido buffet.
It's actually not, but you wouldn't have drunk.
So the Lido buffet, breakfast is your typical breakfast fare: omelettes, sausages, eggs Benedict, salmon Benedict, all your stuff like that. Your cereals, your yogurts, all of that stuff. Pastries as well. Lunch and dinner, different range of hot cooked meals. It was different every night, and it's great for people who don't like sitting and having table service. They just want to grab their food and continue on with spending time with their family. Especially if you're in a big group, sometimes it's a little bit easier just to go and grab your own thing and meet up later. If you've got any fussy folk in your family that don't like specific things, they don't like what's in the dining room, they just want to go and grab, the same thing each night. Maybe they want a guy's burger for lunch, and then they just want to get, some eggs or something for dinner. There's lots of options there, and it's always changing every day. Sometimes there's a special theme, like you'll notice that one day it's Greek, so there'll be a lot of Greek meatballs, there'll be eggplant parm, things like that. That's all very similar themes. But yeah, I think you would have voted the Lido buffet with a 6.
I think you will have rated it also with a 6.
I did. Bang on.
I rated it a 5.
Okay, no one drinks.
I will say, it's a Lido, it's a buffet, it's fine. I will say they have a little gelateria that is included.
Oh, yes.
Really, really good. But
yes.
I can't rate it on just the gelateria. I have to rate it on it as a holistic experience, in which case it's a 5.
On a similar note to that of recommending certain parts, the omelette station is something I would very recommend. I went there almost every day that I went to the Lido for breakfast because you can line up and they will make you an omelette. You can ask for it to be egg white only, which is great for people who are watching their diet or anything like that. But also, they would do scrambled eggs, poached eggs, fried eggs to order. So if you want your scrambled eggs with toppings like tomato, onion, spinach, rather than just generic scrambled eggs, they'll do that for you. If you like your eggs cooked a little bit more than usual, like I do, I don't like my eggs too runny, because I find often that it gets undercooked in the main dining room, but we won't get to that. They can flip it for you and cook it just how you like. So really good option to get your eggs just how you want it. So I would recommend that for breakfast. We only have one location left, I think.
Is it
the Blue Iguana Cantina.
Oh no, it's not burritos.
It is burritos.
Tacos.
Yeah. Tell us about Blue Iguana.
Blue Iguana is...
You ate there more than I did.
I did. Blue Iguana is a Carnival staple.
It is.
They are the Mexican burrito and taco bar where they will make their own tortillas, and they are all about filling you with... They're sort of a Subway for burritos.
Very much so. And they do breakfast as well as lunch.
They do the breakfast burritos.
So, and they also, in breakfast, they do arepas and huevos rancheros.
They do, yes.
Which I had the huevos rancheros, which is really delicious. And it was lovely. I tried the arepas, wasn't my thing, but that's okay. And you had the breakfast burrito twice? 3 times?
3 times.
3 times.
Probably 4 tomorrow.
Yes, on debarkation it is open. So
yes.
for the breakfast burritos, you have things like your Mexican scrambled egg, your chicken sausage, bacon, things like that. For lunch and dinner, it's your more simple sort of chicken, beef and shrimp, I think, or chicken, pork and shrimp, one of the two. with all your normal things like beans, rice, salsas. They have a toppings bar as well for your
Burrito
salsas and things. Yeah, and you can choose between wheat and jalapeno wraps.
Yes, and you always go for the jalapeno wraps because why would you ever go
Also,
for a basic
during
one?
lunch, instead of the arepas and huevos rancheros, they do tacos, and you can get shrimp tacos, I believe, there. And so that's often a great place to get shrimp
Do
included
they do
in the
tacos
price.
for breakfast as well?
No, well, they can do, but they're not advertised.
They're not advertised. You can go and they will do you a breakfast taco. They'll just.
But the good thing about the lunch ones is if you're a seafood lover, you can get shrimp for free. You can get shrimp tacos. Yes. So I've seen a lot of people just get them piled up with shrimp. Well,
I like shrimp.
I don't.
And even I wouldn't do that.
So I think you voted a blue iguana an 8.
I will tell you why I voted blue iguana when I can find it on
If
my
you
list.
can spell blue iguana.
There we go. Oh, smack dab! I did it an 8. I did.
What did you think I voted?
I think you voted a blue iguana as a 6.
I did indeed.
Oh, wonderful! Bang on. We've ended on.
I
a high
think
note.
we did a lot better on this than we thought we would.
Yes, the blue iguana I love. I've really come around to their breakfast burritos. It became my go-to thing for breakfast. I just loved the Mexican scrambled eggs. It was just so flavoursome, really, really tasty.
So overall, I think what Carnival Celebration has done really well here is by having so many venues, so spread out throughout the ship, they have made it feel like the ship is bigger and less populous than it is. It's hard to believe how many thousands of passengers are on board because literally it doesn't feel like it's crowded at all.
There's been a few moments where for example, the centre stage shows have become very
We'll
busy.
talk about that another ship.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more later. But that has been when I have sort of noticed that there is thousands of people on ship, but when you're just walking around, there's so much to do and so many disparate venues that I have not noticed just how busy, how big the ship has been.
So once you've watched this video, please put in the comments as well what your favourite venue is on board, if you've been on Celebration or Mardi Gras, or what are you looking forward to most. We'd really like to hear. And when you have been on board Celebration, report back to us, go into comments. We check them all the time, so do put in there what you've really enjoyed, whether you agree with us. Are our ratings terrible? Do you think Rudy Seagull is the best? Do you think that you love the main dining room, you love the Lido? Do you absolutely hate Shaq's Big Chicken? He will be after you. Tell us what you think, because it's really interesting to see, especially with the culture gap as well, of what Americans think over what we think.
Yes.
That's a very common disparate thing as well. But for now, we still got some alcohol left, and now whatever's left, bottoms up, guys.
Oh, so sweet.
And that is episode 1 of Shipfaced. See you guys soon.
It's so sweet.
That was good. I love the ending of just being, that's so sweet, that's so sweet. That's going to be a comment. Great, end it. That was good. That went well.
High five!